Hey guys, welcome back to the Architecture Show. It's Arda here, aka Funky Designer 99. Today we're gonna talk about floor plans. What are them, how to draw them, and how to make them look good. I'll walk you through my process and help you understand the key concepts so you can create the best floor plans on your own terms. Floor plans are one of the essentials in the architectural world, but something a lot of us, including me, have needed help with because knowing how to draw a good floor plan will not only help you understand how to draw a section, how to draw an elevation, or just like the basics of drawing and everything. It will also push you forward, like in school or in at your job, or just like with your teachers or even like your non-architect friends. So let's get right into it. I want to get the question of gear out of the way. Like, I'm using ArchiCAD in this video, but I have used Revit, I have used AutoCAD, I have used Allplan, like Vectorworks or anything. Like, it doesn't really matter. Look at the key concepts and just be mindful of them. It'll just be fine. You can just draw with like Illustrator or shit too, or like even pen and pencil. It doesn't matter because the tone is in the fingers. It's not about the gear. Let's just ask ourselves, what the fuck is a floor plan really? What is our job? What do we do? What do we show in a floor plan?
I'll help you.
It's a 2D drawing of a 3D space. So like, think of it this way. We got a house, we cut it around 1.2 meters, or like for you imperial guys out there, 4 feet above the ground, and we take a look at that in a bird's eye view and we draw it in 2D, and that is the floor plan of that level. Okay, so that's the floor plan, but what is our goal as an architect? Like, what is our job as an architect in the floor plans? It is basically to show the hierarchy between elements, and like, what do you see first and what do you see last, like what should be the thickest line and what should be the thinnest line, and just order them in a very understandable way, because it's basically a roadmap for the reader. You have to make it understandable for them to be able to read. Like, it's like a minimap in a video game. If you have a shitty minimap, you don't understand shit and you can't find your mission. But if you have a good minimap, you can find your mission wherever you are, and the whole thing is basically with floor plans too. So, well, let's get the key concepts. So organization and layers, like it will affect everything that you do. Organizing your layers will also help you and help everyone that is involved in the planning process. It is really important to keep stuff in their respective layers so you can turn them on and off on command. Like, if you want to show a client the design plan, you don't want to maybe show them the beams and columns, and you can just turn the layer on and off so you can show them in a very fast and understandable way. Or like, just as an example, how I use layers are like this. I have basically like a numbers and caps system, because I'm usually dumb and I just don't see them. Basically 0, 0 is for text, and I usually highlight them in a color. Like, what I mean by text is like annotations. It could be anything like a text or like numbers and levels and everything, and I usually highlight them in another color, which I use orange, because I like orange, and it's also easy to see. And the 1-1 layer is for construction elements that you don't see a lot of in design plans, and the 2-2 layer is the floors, walls, and like basic and essential construction stuff. The 3-3 layer is stairs and elevators and railings. 4-4 layer is doors, windows, curtain walls, and generally like glass elements that I use in the plan. The 5-5 level is like for fills and shades. The 6-6 level is for 2D and 3D furniture, and 7-7 is like entourage and side elements and like vegetation and stuff, and 8-8 is for topography. Really lucky for us, programs we use are so fucking good that we can just assign rules to them. So like, I'm using ArchiCAD, so I can just assign the rule and say like, everything on layer 22 like 2-2 is line weight 0.6, or everything on layer 4-4 is line weight 0.4, or shit like that. So like, with these out of the way, let's get to the real key concepts. So, key concept number 1, line weights and styles, which is maybe the most important thing because like I said, like we have to show the hierarchy between elements, between plan elements like walls and cabinetry and all that shit. So it's important that we use the line weights and the contrast between line weights. So let's think of it this way: when we cut a building from 1.2 meters above, like we see these stuff first, which are like a lot heavier and darker. So there's like walls, and we see them first. So naturally, we want to make them the heaviest lines. So with this principle in mind, the chairs and cabinetry or windows and doors are a lot lighter than the heavier lines. So the system I use is something that I have, like, I wouldn't say I created it, but I stole from a lot of people. This includes a lot of YouTubers, which you might know of. Also the experience that I've had in internships and jobs that I've been with. So I basically stole them and created something of my own. So just basically design process is that. So the system I use is a 7-weight system, and there are a lot of different colors. So you can like just see right here. So I have like 0.1 till 0.7. The main line weights that I use, and about 14 colors. 0.1 to 1.7 are the black ones, and like 2.1 to 2.7 are like the red ones and stuff, and 10 or 11 point stuff are basically the gray ones that I use most. So we can actually see right here that I use 0.1 line thickness for floorings and swings and all that stuff like this. What I mean by 0.1 is the line thickness is in millimeters. So the 0.1 is, if we look at the properties of this, it's 0.07 millimeters, and what I mean by 0.2 is 0.1 millimeter, and 0.3 is 0.18 millimeters. So it's like I say 0.1, 0.2, but it's like the millimeter stuff is different than that, which you can see on the screen right here. So what I use are like 0.1 stuff are for the floorings and swings and stuff, so the lightest stuff that you still want to see but generally not pops out at first. 0.2 are for some furnitures and cabinet inlines like this one, and 0.3 for furniture and cabinet outlines and stairs. Like 0.4 is for windows and doors and their openings. 0.5 are for some structures like structural elements and stuff. 0.6 are for walls because they have to be usually the heaviest, and 0.7 are for the elements that are retaining in the structure that I cannot change, and I want to have like contrast there. I want to have like, okay, like that's the thickest thing there, so that has to be something important, like stuff like that. But I usually like use like 0.1 to 0.6. And so let's take a look at the key concept number 2, which is fills and shades and colors, which is my favorite topic on this. So you can use fills and shades to show materials, colors, or shadows. Like for example, you can use this line pattern and the fills. You can use this line pattern to show wooden floors, or you can use this brick pattern to, you know, show brick material. And like some dot patterns are actually fucking great for grass, which I use them, and they're also like applicable to any section and elevation. Like you can use them for materials or shadows. Like shadows help a lot in an elevation and section, which we're gonna get to in the next video probably. But like I use them at 40% transparency with color black, and that just gives some sense of depth to that, and it's a lot more easier to read when you see that. I also use in some plans some colors to accentuate the rooms and really like separate communal areas and like private areas. For example, I use 95% transparency with black color on communal areas like living rooms and stuff, like half private areas more, and 90% transparency on private areas like bedrooms and home office places and stuff like that, and like 85% transparency on the storage room or the bathroom and stuff like that. Sometimes it makes it easier to read for people to understand, like, okay, yeah, that is where we divide the space, but it also makes it sometimes really harder to read, so you can just adapt to the situation that you're in. When you understand the key concept, it's all about adapting to your surroundings, basically. So the third and last key concept number 3, is scale elements like vegetations, people, and furniture, like the really like cool stuff that you spray it on there. So these are basically like really important to show the scale of the room. Like basically you can just add like a silly person like this in a room like this, or maybe you see it there, I don't know, and you just like show the height of the room, because you know that dude's like 180, and when his hand is high up there. It's probably like 2 meters. To 220 or something. Adding vegetation and furniture like this is also a guideline for the reader and portrays a specific story for the building, and it's all part of the experience for the reader. Like you can for example use orange lines and that means like it's maybe more of a tropical vibe kind of a thing, and maybe you use more like a green color. It's like a dark green color. It's more like a forest vibe. It's telling a story, but it's making it easy to read. It's all for the experience for the reader. It's all for that. I usually don't like saying this, but it's really important to keep in mind the KISS principle, which is keep it simple, stupid. I know, right? Like, I usually don't like limiting myself to this, but in this case, it definitely helps a lot, because the more crowded it is, you will understand much less out of it, and it'll be harder for the reader to understand the plan. You will find your own style through this, and just keep in mind everything easy to read, as easy as it is to read. Like, it shouldn't be complicated, but other than that, just go fucking nuts. So that was basically it, buddies. Like I said, it is important to show the hierarchy between elements and keeping it as understandable as possible, which is really the most important point in here. And like, this will not only create a good roadmap for you, for your clients, and for like teachers and stuff, but it'll also be helpful for you, because if you want to go and revise a project, and you might just look at it and like, fuck me. Who the fuck are you, man? I am vengeance. I am consequences.
I wish I had watched that architecture show videos. I wish I knew what I was gonna do. Bye.
And yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next episodes, which will be, we're going to talk about sections, and we're going to talk about elevations, and we're going to talk about renders. Like, I will do every video until your final, so you can just like, oh, it was easy. Oh, thank you so much. And just give me a follow and subscribe, please. I need that. Thank you. Later. Who the Sie kann besser schauen. Ready?